First Watch Now.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler. First Watch on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and Sheriff Mark Daniels. Good morning.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, everyone.
Well, we've had some good monsoons, and it's also causing some damage.
It is, but let's talk about the best part of that. It's green.
Yes.
It is so nice. You look up in the Huachucas around the county. I mean, it's just gorgeous out there right now, and the grass is getting tall, but it's beautiful green.
And you have to make sure that you keep that knocked down, because the next part of that is mosquitoes.
Ugh.
It is, or stagnant water.
Or snakes.
Snakes. And, yeah, I agree. And for all the transplants from the Midwest and East Coast, we love the green, though.
Yes.
I mean, I love it. I think it's great.
Well, let's start off with school then, because also school is in session. I think everybody's officially started now.
They are. Everybody's back in school. Obviously, we got moms and dads taking kiddos to schools throughout Cochise County. We're seeing it. Our deputies have been on high alert. I know the police departments and troopers are out there. And our job is just to make sure kids get to school safe and get home safe. That's what this is all about. But we need the drivers, the motoring public's participation in that thought too, and that is, slow down, look out for those big yellow buses with the red lights flashing, because when they turn that arm comes out and says stop, you legally have to stop. Do not go past that. That is a serious violation.
Some people take that as a suggestion versus an actual law.
Yeah, that's not discretionary. That is a mandate. When that pops out and that thing's red, and that's when the orange lights flash, that is your warning to slow down and stop, not to accelerate, but to slow down and stop, because there's kiddos that aren't thinking of you. They're thinking about getting on that school bus and going to school. So watch out for these little guys out there.
Both directions, too.
Yes, both directions. And people get a little confused, too, on the 4 lanes. Like on Highway 92, where Palomines, for example, and service to school buses that are out there, they think it's a 4-lane and there's no medium in the middle. You still have to stop, because they're coming both ways. You just don't know. So just slow down, stop. And I know we have highway speeds. That's where it gets really scary. So, folks, just be very alert out there. Be very patient out there, and be very vigilant on the driving right now.
So just one point of clarification. If there's a median, you're okay. But if there's no median, regardless of the number of lanes, you have to stop.
Right, correct.
Okay,
correct.
Good to know. Huachuca City started school as well, and they had a national night out to kind of kick off the welcome back to school. So that was last Friday night. Grady went over there, had a good time.
It was good.
Pretty good turnout, right?
Yeah, they did well. They had a lot of displays. There was even a canine display by Cedar Vista PD. They had hot dogs, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And there's about 100 and some people showed up out there.
Yeah.
And it's great when you see these small towns that have these events, National Night Out, Back to School, and I know Service Dad went them all the other day too, and they're just packed. And it's nice to see that energy and the community come together for, obviously, the kiddos again.
And last Tuesday, we had our election day, and that went really well as well.
It did, and I want to give a shout-out to our elections folks, all those that volunteered, Lisa Mara, our election director, Dave Stevens, our recorder. There's a lot of work that goes in that. Members of my sheriff's office, our county administrator, Rich Karwashka, and his team. I mean, everybody comes together, and with all the oversight on elections, duly noted, that we actually are out there doing everything we can in Cochise County. I can't control what happened in other parts of the state and beyond, but we're very vigilant on what goes on here in Cochise County. So shout out to them for a nice, clean, and they had I think they had it posted by just a few minutes after 8 o'clock. There are some that I looked at night throughout the county, just checking to see other counties. They never posted it. So, again, it goes back to the diligence that our people have here in Cochise County to get done right.
And one of the other things we're dealing with related to county operations is the Wilcox Jail. The Wilcox Jail, we had to close that down. Unfortunately, Commander Bradshaw, agonized over that decision with you, but it's something that had to happen for staffing purposes. That's unfortunate, but for the time being, it's a temporary closure. And if you've heard it that Wilcox Police Department is manning that or taking over that is not true.
It's not true. And we have a great relationship with our police departments, because all 3 of our jails are within city propers. So we work very close with our police departments, and if there's an issue at a jail, and then they'll come in and help us. They'll help us some of the booking processes. But right now, our Wilcox Satellite Jail is closed. It's closed for health reasons. We're hoping to get that back open up here in a week or so. We hate when they close down, but these are decisions that protects both our officers that work in the jail and the public and the inmates. So these are tough decisions. I know Commander Bradshaw was really stressing on this. Him and I had numerous conversations, but we did it for the best interest of everybody involved.
And speaking of the jail, we've been talking a lot about the Bisbee jail being replaced, rebuilt, whatever. Well, now we're starting to take some steps forward for that, and a new committee meeting starts today.
It does. The first community meeting, and these are people that have been selected by Board of Supervisor members, my office, just throughout Cochise County, that can come together and actually help us navigate this process for all the right reasons, and to include hearing the facts, hearing what's going on from our constructional engineers that build jails, from our NIJO, which is National Institute of Jail Operations, their recommendations, putting the facts on the table that we've worked on over the last year and a half, actually it's way beyond that, but last year and a half, to really put this all together and figure the best path forward. And obviously a jail district, which I think over half the sheriffs in the state have that already, and that's a half-cent sales tax, folks. All use are half-cent sales tax with a 25-year sunset clause. So we're working on that. It's not a simple process, but it's the first step to today when we all come together to discuss it, talk about it, bring everybody to speed, and we'll be navigating with them for quite some time as we push this forward.
And we had a woman come down, Jennifer Dillon from Tucson. Didn't understand that she was coming all the way from Tucson, but she reached out and wanted to gift the sheriff's office some items that we could help with, have deputies give out to kids who they come into contact with who are in need, any type of domestic violence situation or any type of hard time in a kid's life, and it's through the Southern Arizona Book Heroes. So they brought bags, and when they said that they were bringing bags, I anticipated it would just be a bag of books because Southern Arizona Book Heroes. But after she got here and showed up with all of that, those items, realized that they're about $250 of items go into this duffel bag, and then the officers keep them in their car, and then they're able to give out blankets and stuffed animals and books for all ages. So it depends on the age of the kid that you're dealing with. You can dig through that bag and you can pick an age-appropriate book. So that's something that she started. She's a founder of that particular group, and we were so honored to have her come all the way from Tucson and give us some of those assets to use for us.
When I received, a little clarification, when I received the email from Jennifer, I thought she was from Sierra Vista or local, that wanted to help support our young ones, again, with books and stuffed animals for kids in need, or kids that we see during bad situations that we can help them out. Well, Carol, you and I met her the other day, she drove all the way down to Tucson, from Tucson, which it's not a long ways, but she had to leave like 6 in the morning to meet us at 8, and she said she had 20 bags. I'm thinking, okay, and we were the 17th recipients of these bags. Well, when she opened the back of her SUV, they were in duffel bags, so she had 20 duffel bags with, like, it was a $250 value in each duffel bag, and we loaded up your car, Carol, and I saw your little car just that was a lot of bags in that, but that's what she gave Tucson PD and all the different Oro Valley, all the different agencies. So we were honored to be selected here in Cochise County to receive those, and we're already developing a plan to get those out to our kids in need in Cochise County. But Jennifer, thank you for what you're doing. I mean, that is a huge community effort to help kids, and reading is power. Knowledge is power. So thank you for doing that for our kid that's here.
And speaking of community empowerment and community events, last Saturday you hosted the Miss Sierra Vista Scholarship Pageant.
I'm honored. I've been doing that for many years. In fact, you used to do it back in
the early 2000s, I think, maybe 2010, up to there.
I was going to say, you're part of that too, and so I've been honored to be part of that. Mary Hyder and her team puts that together, William Benning, that they do so much work for these girls. And this is a competition. It's truly a competition that's no different than soccer, wrestling, or anything else out there. They go out there, they practice, they do rehearsals, and then Saturday night was the event. So I had the honor of emceeing it with Miss Arizona and Miss Arizona Outstanding Teen. All three of us emceed it, and got to say goodbye to Jennifer Westbrook, who who's a 2-time recipient of Miss Sierra Vista, and Kaylin Gooch, who's also Miss Outstanding Teen. Jennifer and Kaylin did an amazing job over last year in a tough time with COVID and still getting out there and representing their organization very well. But I want to make a congratulations to our new 2023 Miss Sierra Vista, Caitlin Kramer, and 2023 Miss Sierra Vista Outstanding Teen is Brittany Richardson. They did a fabulous job. And to all 10 contestants, I guess they call them, they've changed the verbiage on that. They are all winners. They all went out there and they gave that commitment, courage, and character to get on that stage and perform and do things and to answer those improv questions. They all did well. But Caitlin and Brittany, we look forward to spending the next year with you on community events, so you'll see them out there soon.
Were they the only ones that got an award that night? Did you get an award?
Yeah, I did. I was thinking, yeah, we did. We gave out some scholarship awards to the girls. I'm not thinking about me on that, but yeah, the organization gave me a Lifetime Achievement Award, which I thought was really nice of them, and did not see that coming. In fact, Mary Hyder, the director, was presenting the Lifetime Achievement Award, and she kept looking at me. I'm like, and I'm thinking MC. I'm like, why are you looking at me? And then she announced it. So thank you, Mary, and to the committee and the organization, Miss America organization. It was really nice of you all.
Well, let's talk about the MAC Luncheon.
Went to the MAC Luncheon, and that's the luncheon put on by the Sierra Vista Chamber of Commerce. Melanie and her team, she's a big fan of being on our show with us, and we appreciate her. But they recognize military soldiers and civilian support from Fort Huachuca, so I always try to make that one. I think it's a great one to go to and show support, and the Mayor Mueller and Rich Carwash, our county administrator, so many of us were up there to support our military on that. Great lunch. Thank you, Melanie, and the Chamber for putting that event on. It was a really nice one. And let me go back to a question you said about search and rescue. I mean, with all the rain we were having, I mean, last night, or 2 nights ago, we had the big rains, and search and rescue was out most of the night. We had a couple of citizens they rescued. We had an illegal migrant that got caught, that they saved his life. Again, search and rescue, thank you for what you do. They're the unsung heroes out there, and it goes back to, man, the ground is saturated right now. Doesn't take much for these the washes to flood. Turn around, don't drown, folks. I'm telling you, this is this time of season. Law enforcement, public safety, search and rescue, we're really concerned. This is where we're watching things real close.
And so you have a busy week coming up. So next week, like they're not all, but next week you have your meetings with the internal staff. So you're going to want to make sure you touch base with everybody who's an employee for the Cochise County Sheriff's Office. Yeah,
next week's my all week. I'll be meeting with all my team members. Every one of them. We sit down, we talk about where we've been over the last, especially 2 years, because we didn't do it last year because of COVID. So where we've been over the last 2 years and where we're going, a lot of challenges, jail being one of we talk about quite a bit here. The border's been a real challenge on the operational side of it. Funding, grants, all kinds of things we're doing at the Sheriff's Department. This is my opportunity to spend some time with our team members and hear from them, and I look forward to this. So that kicks off Monday, so I'm excited about that. It goes all the way through Friday. So that's my week next week, and if I don't answer the phone, that means I'm talking to my employees, which is most important to me.
And speaking of border, so we've seen, we talked about last week about the fatality that came as a result of failure to yields. We have, statistics that we have our analyst doing. National Guard, great guy. Jose is doing an outstanding job putting those numbers together for us. But it's coming to a point where we have to get better at communicating and maybe find a path forward to slow some of this roll down. And Monday there was a meeting, and they, out of this meeting with multi-agencies and analysts and radio people and just the whole plethora of different people from different areas that can contribute in some way to the success of this mission of stopping this smuggling and this danger to our citizens. There was another group that was formed, more handpicked and more, designed to be able to have a first-hand look into what things that we could be doing. So they have that meeting scheduled. They had that meeting scheduled Monday, and they had their inaugural meeting, I guess you'd say, yesterday. So with you looking at those kinds of things and seeing what the importance of was that, tell if you just let the public know, because we're going to probably be reaching out and tapping into them to give us additional help. We need force multipliers, and that would be them.
Exactly. And so we've done a very, very good job in Cochise County of being proactive to address border smuggling in Cochise County. Started with community meetings, 8 months ago, I think it's been at least, where we went around the county and spoke to the citizens, and that's a collective effort. DPS, the police departments, county attorney's office, Brian McIntyre, our border team, you name it, we were there to discuss it, and Border Patrol, of course. And as a result, we did Safe Streets. Sadly, where we've done really good work, we still are having negative impacts, the fatality, like you just brought up. So we called for a meeting again, that was last Monday, where we discussed more tactical approaches, best practices, smart practices to try to prevent this, number one. It's always been our goal, but number two is change that behavior from these criminal cartels, from those coming from outside of Cochise County to smuggle in Cochise County. Everything was on the table. So now we've even defined our Safe Streets into leadership from each agency to work tactical approaches from prevention, marketing on this, to the enforcement, and let's not forget the prosecution. So the director of DPS, Adam Thrasher, Service PD, Border Patrol leadership, Captain Dean Chase, the local DPS trooper supervisor, myself, my team, everybody was at the table. There was about 40 people at this meeting. Jim Adams, the Marshal of Tombstone, everybody was there for the right reason. That is, how do we protect Cochise County from the smuggling? That's really what it boils down to. So we're looking forward. We're putting a manual together to actually define how we operate, how we react to the situation at hand. We're going to keep doing what we're going to do until this stops or we curtail this. But I want to give you an opportunity too. I just got these stats this week on fatal yields, and these are the ones that have been apprehended in Cochise County and booked into our jail. 94 suspects have been booked in our jail since January 1 of this year till in July. 94 fatal yields that have been apprehended. These aren't the ones that have got away with a different number, of course. These are the ones that we actually took into custody. And when it comes to border-related crimes from January to July, these are just border-related suspects have committed a crime that's got a connection to the border. 617 people have been booked in our jail. That is very costly, folks. And we'll continue pushing this for the right reasons, and that is the quality of life that people expect in Cochise County. We'll never turn our back and say, we're not there for you. Doing nothing is not the answer. I've said that numerous times. I'll continue to say that. We'll always act, and we'll always enforce the rule of law in Cochise County. The day we stop doing that, it's the day we're in trouble. So we'll continue on the right direction on that.
Let's talk about a deputy-involved accident from this week.
Yes, that happened last Saturday. I responded to the scene. We had a deputy that was responding to an alarm call, not driving emergency lights or anything, but was going to an alarm in front of the mall, Service to Mall, and a driver did not fail to yield and struck the sheriff's car. No injuries, thank God, in all aspects of that. Nobody was injured, and the driver was ticketed. I really feel bad. Our deputies, they're human. And when I spoke to the deputy, spent some time with our deputy, he was really upset, rightfully so. We don't want to, our job is to help people not harm situations or have accidents, but it's a reality. We drive so much. We do. Not that the deputy's at fault, but once again, it's a headline that people like to jump in there. Oh, what's going on? Bottom line is they call them accidents because it was a non-intended event, even for the one that caused the accident, the teenager. Bottom line is this: my deputy's okay, they're okay, we'll move on. We can repair vehicles. It's hard to repair humans.
And do you have a stop of the week this week?
I do, and I want to hit on this. When you're at a four-way intersection and you're making a right turn, left turn, or you're going straight, the way we project that is through turn signals. You have to use a turn signal if you're going to make a right turn, because if a car's waiting to make a left turn and you're making a right turn, we have to do that harmoniously, and we do that because you projected you're going to make that turn, so we can go into our respective closest lanes, which is the law. I had a driver this week that came up to the intersection, no indicator of a turn signal, and then made a right turn, which blocks the whole intersection. We don't know what that person is doing. And then, this is the first day of school, by the way, and then the driver made an narrow lane change right in front of me without using a turn signal. So I activated my emergency lights, made the traffic stop. The driver did at that point use a turn signal. Unfortunately, it was too late. So, again, I use that as an educational tool for the driver and for the radio show this morning. You have to use turn signal that impacts the flow of traffic. And that's mainly at intersections. Or if you're going to make a lane change in front of somebody, be respectful. It's a big word right there. And let them know you're coming in the lane. So they don't have to slam their brakes on. Then you get road rage. People get upset. We've talked about that numerous times on this show. So, again, be respectful out there. Use the turn signal.
And your safety message of the week also has to deal with driving because the school buses are out.
I have 2 thoughts as we close out my part of the show here. Number 1 is, yes, look for those big yellow buses that have amber lights on them, red lights, and please slow down. The kiddos are out there waiting to get on those buses. Teenagers are driving to high schools throughout Cochise County. Slow down, be patient, and we'll have a safe day, hopefully, at the end of the day. And a shout out I have is this. Tim Wiederman, Sergeant Tim Wiederman from the Department of Public Safety, been working over 3 decades here in Cochise County and around the immediate area. Just got promoted to captain for DPS, so he's going to be heading to the Phoenix area. So, Tim, congratulations to you and your family on that. We wish you well, and something tells me you'll be back in Cochise County before we know it. So, Tim, congratulations.
First Watch on KWCD Country, brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch Now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County. And we have Specialist Sean Buey from Fort Huachuca, and he brought Nina, his partner. So you might hear a little bit of panting here. Promises it is Nina.
That's right.
So welcome, Sean.
Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I just recently got back here from Kuwait. We just got back probably together as a month ago. I've been back a week ago. I've been back for about a month. I've been here in Fort Huachuca for about a year. And then I actually am an Arizona native as well, so super glad to be coming back to where I'm from.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit about Nina.
Oh, Nina's I love her to death, but she's a little crazy. She's a little crazy sometimes. I love her. So going before Kuwait, I think we had like a really strong bond before we went. But coming back, like I feel like it's really crazy, like how much of a difference like going out to another country made us have like a better bond, because we spent so much time. Like here we spend quite a bit of time, but like it's crazy how much time we spent out there. So it's good.
So Nina is a 5-year-old Belgian Malinois.
Yes.
And she's a working dog for Fort Huachuca.
She is. And
so what are some of the things that you've done with her so far, other than training on post? I don't know if you can say that, but I mean, what are some of the things that they would call you out for?
So anything kind of narcotics related on post. If there's ever like an instance, that's like one of the big things. So like right now I am on call for like on post. If there's ever like an issue that arises on post, I would be the first one to get the phone call and go to assist with what would be needed. And then the biggest one that I guess that we just do too is deployments, like I said. So for us, it's just deploying out of Kuwait and or going to Kuwait right now is the biggest one for us than anything narcotics related on post.
Give us kind of like a day in the life with you and Nina.
So our days kind of start pretty early. We're normally there at about 6:30, feeding them to get ready to go to training, and then we're normally out by probably about 7:30 to kind of go out, whatever training we're doing for the day, whether that's detection work or kind of like bite work, finding people in fields or in buildings, and then once we kind of come back, we have a big obedience yard in our kennel facility, so we'll take them all generally through there, run them through, let them kind of play for a little bit too, because all the dogs, they work, but we also want to give them that, a little bit of life, like at-home life. So we'll come here.
Some behind-the-scenes fun going on, yes.
So we'll take them all kind of through the obedience courses, kind of throw the toy with them too. Generally every day we'll do that, so that way they get that love too, because they all work. That's their goal, is they want that love. So we'll make sure we show them that love, and then after that, it's just kind of admin portion for us for the day, and that's about it. That's about a normal day.
And we also need you to tell us the pepperoni story, because that's so cute. You were talking about it before we went on the air.
So I don't know what it is about pepperoni pizza at the shopettes that they make or like anywhere on post. To me, I love it. And Nina always was super interested in what I was eating, and I didn't want to give her, the cheese on the pizza, so I would always give her a little bit of the pepperoni. And now she's insane. She knows the moment I have the pepperoni on the pizza, because she'll start banging on that little door that we have, and she's just like, let me get the pepperoni. So as soon as I give her that little bit, she's content, and she's like, all right, we're good to go.
One of the saddest things I think I just heard when we were talking before this is, here at the sheriff's office, when we have our canines, they're partnered with our officers completely. They go home with them, they stay with them. Even when we've had a couple of retirements, they've gone with their handlers. But you guys don't have that same luxury. So
no, sadly we don't. So since a lot of us are in the barracks here at Fort Huachuca, it's a little bit smaller than a normal barracks. But if you go to a lot of the bigger installations, they'll have a lot of bigger barracks and stuff. So for the people that live in the barracks, it's a little bit more difficult for them to take them into the rooms and everything. Plus, they don't have a yard like most people that have working dogs do. We do, luckily though, get to retire them out. So once they hit that age of about 9 years old, they do get to go to that handler, and they get to retire them out, and they get to live the best life that they can. So sadly we can't. We do have a program in the Army that's called PETI, where you can. It's only for the explosive dogs that we have. They can go to a special course, and then as long as they pass that course and can maintain their certification, they take that dog whatever duty station that they go to next, and so they'll always be with that dog until they decide to get out the Army, or until the dog is retired out.
And so you even travel, obviously when you go to Kuwait, and you were just telling a story about how you travel with Nina, and so having to go through the airport with her on a leash,
yes,
and then having people not be afraid.
Yeah, I don't. Some people, I don't understand the disconnect. Why they don't understand it's a working dog. So when we go through heavily locations like that where there's a bunch of people, we always make sure they have a harness on, do not pet signs, police. Don't do anything. But when we go through the airport, especially when we deploy, we always go through Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. So wherever you're at, you always have to take a commercial flight from there. So walking through the airport, we always fly with them commercial. They always sit with us on the plane, and so we'll have a lot of people that are coming to pet the dog, and sending their kids coming to pet the dog, and obviously they're always muzzled, and we're always making sure that we have them under control. But sometimes they'll catch you off guard, and someone will get whipped in the face with the muzzle, and so it's always a little difficult going through there. But it's always a good time too, because then you always get some people that are really respectful, and they ask what do you do? And it's always super nice to talk to some people about your job too. It's always really nice, those super nice people you get.
So you were deployed in Kuwait. You just got back from a 5-month deployment. What kind of work do you do over there?
So a lot of it that we did was training. So training was a really big emphasis over there too, to just better your dog in every which way that you can, because it was a little bit harder here because you have a little bit more things to do over on the garrison side of things, but over there it's really heavily training oriented. So I was always doing just new stuff that I'd never done before. We were planting drugs in weird places, that you never really thought of, but it was really good training. But then another big one that we did too is the base that I was at. They would you know how you take customs, you go through customs before you go to your flight. It was the same thing for us. So the Army, it was Army ran. So I would go whenever they would have a flight leaving Kuwait, and I would search all their bags. So we did probably, I don't know, the 5 months over there, 10,000 bags of just searching it. So we were doing that almost every day, looking for narcotics leaving, because it's a little bit different, over there when it comes to drug laws and everything of how that stuff works. So it's a little bit easier for soldiers over there if they wanted to get anything. But luckily we never had, any fines, so no real big issues over there. But yeah, just training, and then kind of whatever the MPs out there needed to. So at least once a month they would take us out to the gates, and we would do we just search all the cars that came in. Every single car that came in through the installation would get searched from top to bottom, just to make sure that everybody was in compliance, coming on post.
And so was your trip home uneventful?
It was a little bit different. So my deployment ended a little bit early for some other reasons. So I came home unexpectedly. So I've been home for about a month, like I said, but Nina's been with me for about a week. So since I came home unexpectedly, Nina got stuck in Kuwait for a little bit, sadly, but luckily with our kennel master. Their kennel master is the one who's in charge of the kennels out in Kuwait. So she got stuck with him for a little bit. So it was a little bit uneventful for me coming home, but when I went and picked her up last week, it was a little bit more eventful, yeah, because I flew out to Dover, I got there, I think, at like 1 in the morning, and my flight was at 6 in the morning, so I had to pick her up, get all my stuff, get on the flight again. So it was a little bit more eventful. I was a little tired, and then going through the airport, like I said, sometimes it's a struggle, sometimes it was great. Luckily, coming back a little bit better than definitely going to Kuwait. And luckily this time I had somebody come with me. Normally we don't have somebody come with us since we're obviously deploying. They can't come back. But I had somebody since we were coming back to Fort Huachuca. He came and helped me with my bag, so it was super nice to have somebody to come help me. Because he was also that little buffer zone between me and Nina too, because he could spot, the kids running up or somebody, and he's like, whoa,
Taco.
Yeah.
So are you and Nina having some time off now?
No. So I came back, and I had a little bit of time off to see my wife again and everything, and kind of get back. The time zone's a really big one. The time shift, it was a big one to get used to again. But Nina had about a month off since I wasn't there. They were taking her out a little bit, getting her. So she wasn't sitting there, take her out a little bit, walk her, take her on a run a little bit, but she wasn't working too much. So as soon as she got here, we hit the ground running to kind of get that dust off, because it sitting for a little bit, it's kind of like when you go off of work for like a week or two, you got to get back into the rhythm of things. So that was the same thing with her. We got back and we just went and did kind of the basics of everything again, just to see where she was at, just to make sure we were still good. And then if she struggled in an area, that's what we're working on right now. But she's done phenomenal considering what I thought she was going to be doing. She's killing it out there so far. So.
Is this what you joined the Army to do, or is this the job you got?
Yes. So I actually told my recruiter, I was like, I want to join, and they were like, oh, that's awesome. And I was like, but I'm only joining if I get this job. He was like, I'll be honest with you, man, I don't think you're gonna get it. He's like, I got all these other ones. I was like, I'm good. So if you can get it, we'll do it. So I was lucky. I only waited about 2 weeks. So I've known people that I went to school with that waited a year, that waited 6 months. But I got totally lucky to come and do this.
So where else could you be deployed? I mean, is it at certain stations that you can be deployed for this particular assignment?
So since I'm on a narcotics dog, it's a little bit limited to where I go, but another few. So we can go to Egypt. Egypt, I know, is a big one. Honduras. I think I want to say Egypt and then Honduras are the big ones for us, and then Kuwait right now is the biggest one that they're sending us out to go out there.
And Nina wants to get on the radio.
She's trying.
Nina's
she's
super
trying to get
excited
to
be
the
here.
microphone.
Yeah, if everybody hears those little like tum 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 things happening, she's just kind of jumping around. She's having a good old time in here. Well, Sean, we thank you for coming in and talking to us today and bringing Nina and let us meet her. And we thank you for what you do. Thank you for your service.
I really appreciate it.
Thank
you
you
guys
so much.
Yeah,
You bet.
Thank y'all.
Hey, Carol, how do they get a hold of us at the Sheriff's Office?
So you can reach out at Cochise County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Mark J. Daniels, for our Facebook page. That'll take you to our Twitter and our Instagram. And we'll also have pictures of Nina on our Instagram today, so you can take a look at that. And you can call us 520-432-9500 or our webpage at cochise.az.gov/sheriff. Hey.
First Watch on KWCD Country. It's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
You've been listening to First Watch with the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
Join us again next Friday morning, 7 to 8 a.m.
First Watch.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Only on 92.3 KWCD.